morning, dear friends. Here's yours, Dr. Ajanta. Welcome to Demystify with Ajay. Dear friends, in the previous session, we have discussed related to dates and time data. And here, another type of data that we are dealing with is text data. Actually, it requires an appropriate knowledge of various manipulation techniques and some basic knowledge to be able to better manage them within the Pandas library and in data analysis in general. Dear friends, when importing text data from an external file or database, it is generally classified as object data type. So let me just include here and kindly have a note of it. This is the exact data frame. And let's see the exact details of a value of the column that contains textual data. So see, for the exact ID data, of course, there is an alpha here. It is specified. And kindly observe the data type is object. And when moving on to the title, kindly observe, the data type is object. And to the same here to the author, here too the data type is object. So as we can see, all these three columns containing the data of type text have been imported into the data frame as values of type object. You can always make sure that you can import them as string by adding the optional D type parameter inside the read_CSV function. So see here, we then set this parameter on the type of data string. So kindly observe. So this is the exact parameter. Of course, one among the parameter in read_CSV, and here I have just specified it as string. Now let I execute this. Okay, in this case, however, all the columns including those of other type. Of course, this publication date, it is in a date type. Okay, other than this, text data will be considered to be the string type. So kindly just to see, this publication now aids us like string type. So then at this point, the single column which is converted with the correct type of data. How come this can be? Of course, as it is the only thing which we want to make it towards the daytime, you can just convert it to daytime. So this can be possible. So which we are just making it towards the date time conversion. Or you can also import everything as an object and then promptly convert each column with its date type. So for an example, to convert the value of a single column, you can use the a.s. type, which we just say as type method. So passing the single type of data as an argument. So you can also specify here as like a title. You can just make use of it. This is as like a string. Separate thing. You can just make it. But why exactly we want to convert all type of to string type? Once you have converted a textual value into a data type string, you can take advantages of the many methods provided by the Python for handling strings. So this then provides us with a powerful tool for manipulating and managing textual data. And kindly just observe, dear friends, there are so many methods is that correcting the characters of the string. So the simplest case is that of wanting to correct the format of a text deciding. So for an example, to convert the character from lowercase to uppercase or uppercase to lowercase, or these are the few methods that deal with this. So for an example, if you want to put all the letters in the uppercase within a column, you can just make use of it. So here I have just specified only the title to be the uppercase. So I have just specified only that column alone. So see here, everything whichever is specified, it is there as like uppercase. Whereas if we want to use all the lowercase character, we will use towards the low. So lower. Yeah, one of the most used method in correcting imported text data is strip. So yeah, of course, we are just going to deal with a small example. So kindly have a note of it, dear friend. Often when importing columns of text, you have problem with empty space. Some strings starting with blanks or at the end or have some blanks that increases their length unnecessarily. So well, these can be removed by some method. So one among the thing which we are just going to deal with the strip method. Okay, so let we add a column here. Okay, so I'm just going to add a column comment to this data frame which we have already specified. So see here, this is the exact column that we have included. And yeah, from this, as we can see, the last column has comment that has some excess white space. And yeah, here in this, before there is a space is there, after there is a space is there, and of course for this also there is before there is some space is there, and here also some space is available. Okay, so yeah, we are able to see some space both in beginning at the end of the text. So therefore, a need to correct these values. So first, let's see the length of the various string, including this unnecessary space also, okay, by using the function len. Okay, so here it is that. So let me just make use of this method. And these values will help us better check whether the space have been removed correctly or not. So for that, just want to have a note of it. So kindly just to see here, the first one command here, it has 24. And next one, the second data, we are having 22. And next one, it is all about 18. Okay, so now I am just going to make use of the strip method. Okay, so let me then apply the strip method to remove unnecessary space both at the beginning and at the end. Okay, see, actually here it just remove leading and trailing white space only. So yeah, we have just done down. So kindly just to see, we can check with the length again. I just go above to lightly scroll above. So kindly just to see, compare that before using the strip method and after using it. So kindly see here, we are having 18, and of course we just reduced it towards 15. And the first one we have 2 at in the front. Okay, so yeah, once again I just scroll towards it. So here we have 2 space before and 2 space after it's there. So of course we just had 4 unnecessary space, so that has been reduced. Okay, so as we can see from the result and by observing the reduced string length after using the strip method, all unnecessary spaces at the beginning and the end of the strings have been removed. This is not true for unless space that divide words within a string. So kindly you just observe here, interesting, and there is some space between that. In fact, you can just see which keeps here as 3 empty spaces between the 2 words. The strip method does not affect the inside of a string in the slightest, but only control the beginning and the end. So if we have such needs, yeah, we can use the replace method. Yeah, let me just make use of this. And of course, this replace method allows us to replace one or more characters with other. So in this case, we can replace 2 consecutive spaces with no characters, or it is as if we are telling Python to remove all cases where there are 2 consecutive spaces. That can also be done. So here, kindly just to see, we are going to replace the 2 consecutive spaces is there. I'm just going to replace it with no characters. Nothing is there. Okay. So let I just execute it and check with the data frame. Okay. So from the result obtained, what we can just see, yeah, we see that the space between the words here, okay, between the words have also been corrected. And dear friends, actually the replace method in its more conventional use therefore serves to replace one or more characters with others. It can be used. For an example, you can just use it to remove or replace unwanted separator characters also. Okay, so first let me just call the whole data frame here, and I just want to make use of this. Okay, so kindly just see here, in this data frame, we may want to put some commas to separate the name and surname of the author of the book. So here, the first name and to the surname, if you want to replace it, yeah, you can just make use of it. So how I'm just going to make it? So this exact author, as with the string format, I'm just going to make use of the replace. Wherever there is a space, that is space in between these two strings, I'm just going to replace it with a comma. Okay, so once after making that, now let we execute only the author type. So kindly just see. Yeah, I think you are able to observe that is one word with another we have just replaced within a text. Yeah, a comma has been included. Okay, fine. And next, of course, you can also make use of something replace. Yeah, here wherever there is a word book, okay, in the command. So see here one book is there. If you want to make that changes in the values also, yeah, you can just change it towards replace. So see here, this exact book has been replaced to novel. This is possible. Yeah, good. Okay, now next let me just have some methods for stripping strings. And yeah, another important string processing method widely used in pandas is split. Of course, we have already discussed a slide related with the split in the previous session, as like Python functionalities. Okay, getting some inputs from the user under input method. Okay, I think we have just used the split method. Okay, fine. Anyhow, so exactly we are going to detailedly discuss here. This exact method analyzes the words present in string. So by default, it includes many separator characters such as space and commas, anything. So and separates them from each other, obtaining a list of smaller strings, each corresponding to a single word. Okay, so here let we just make this splitting of only the title. Okay, so kindly just observe what it has. So each and every word has been included, that is the separated it with a separator. Okay, and this was being as like an element in a list. Okay, if on the other hand, the words are separated by separator character, such as a comma, it is possible to specify it as an argument of the method. So if you want to make that, so here of course we have included an author, a comma inside the author. Yeah, that is also can be done. So purposely I have just done that. Okay, now I want to split that here, and kindly just see, John is the first name, and of course this is the surname. Okay, so here you can just make use of that functionality. And when on just making this, yeah, as the result, the method returns the string in the form of the list of the word enclosed in a square bracket. And a much more useful format for those who work with pandas is to obtain a data frame formed by the words divided between them and placed in a column. So to obtain this format, the optional expand parameter is added, and here of course, here I have just included that parameter expand and specified it as true, and kindly just see how it happens. Yeah, you can also expand it, and we can see from the result what we just got in this data frame. So, but the most common operation practiced in the analysis of textual data is to obtain in our data frame the addition of new columns with the values of individual words. For an example, we want to create two new columns in which we have the name and the surname of the authors of the book separately. Yeah, thus can be done. So kindly just see here. if I just want to make use of that, so author name and author surname, now I am just making it. So I'm here giving the new column name as name and surname, that is author name, author surname, and yeah, here I'm just excluding that author. Of course, it is just going to make as a redundant. Okay, so I'm just deleting that exact particular column, and when I'm just viewing the resultant data frame, kindly just see, observe it. And another common operations with the textual data is the reverse to the one just performed. Here we have just splitted. Yeah, of course, you can also concatenate it. So instead of dividing the strings of one column into multiple column, we want to do the opposite operation. Yeah, we want to merge the string of several columns into one. There is no need to use any string method to do this, but it is sufficient to use the arithmetic operator sum to concatenation the string value of an individual column together. You can also add character strings between the operator if you want to add some separator characters. And kindly just observe in our example what we have just done. Yeah, we want to introduce a space in between. Okay, we want to introduce a space in between, and then we add both the strings here as like author name and author surname. Of course, we are just going to give a new column author. Now kindly just observe. Of course, what we have just done, we have restored the original situation, performing the reverse operations to the previous one. Now, yeah, let me just move on to the next one. Yeah, however, it is possible to do the same operation using a method for string that allows their concatenation. Yeah, so we have one more method which we just say cat. Okay, so it is possible to merge the textual value of two columns of the data frame and possibly add a separator character with the optional parameter. So here I have just specified the separator, and yeah, it just do the same thing. So what we have done, of course, this is what. Okay, so yeah, we can delete now by using the surname and name, the first name and surname, and now we just got our original data back to the form. So here the result are identical, which we have just seen towards the previous one. So kindly just observe what we have done towards it. ID, title, author, publication date, and command here, the same here. Okay, now we are just going to step in more complex example. Kindly just observe, dear friends, a more complex example than the previous one is to separate alphanumeric from numeric character in a column. So, which very often are joined together without any separator characters. That is what the main here. So, in this case, the replace method comes to our aid once again. So, which allows us to extract only the numeric characters from a column. So, this is because of the regular expression, that is the exact which we are going to make it regex. So, this is the exact expression passed as an argument. So if we want to eliminate all alphanumeric character from our column, so we have to use, of course, this is what alphanumeric data, that is A to Z and plus. So let me just make use of it, and of course, if we want to make it in the ID, okay, so we are just going to apply it only towards the ID data, and yeah, new ID 1 has been created now. So kindly observe here what we have got. So yeah, 001276A, this is what the exact data, and we are just replacing this alpha, that is A, as like null character. Okay, no character we have just passed, just removing that. Of course, yeah, if we want to extract only the alphanumeric part, yeah, we will use the same method, but this time passing the expression as like 0, 0. That is only the numeric passing towards it. That is the digit plus. The digit plus, yeah, 0 to 9 plus. If we just use like that. And of course, see here previously we have just named it, the resultant as ID1. Now let me just make it here as ID2. Okay, and yeah, of course the id data now it has been processed towards id1 and id2, and so let me just delete the id and see what we have. So this is what the exact id1 part only with the numeric, and the one which we have the alpha part, that we have extracted a separated column. Of course, we have obtained two new columns in which we have separated the numeric character and the alphanumeric ones. Okay, so as alternative method, but which gives similar result, is with an extract. That is can also be done. So here kindly just observe the extract method. So this method also works through that regular expressions only. Okay, and extracts from a column. So the character that corresponds to the condition imposed by the regular expression, how it just is shown. So kindly observe here. So the same thing, if I just want to make it towards the character here. Okay, so observe only the numerical values, and the same thing with alpha. So kindly see here, A, B, E. So the same can be done, extract the alpha part from the column, and it is sufficient to change the regular expressions to extract only the alphanumeric characters. So now that we have separated the alphanumeric from the numeric characters, so let me just delete the original column here, ID. Okay, so let me just make it, and the resultant of this operation. So here we just get 8. Now, if we want to add it, if we want to add some character to the rows of a column, yeah, of course, we are just going to use this cat method. Okay, so actually in the previous example, we saw how the cat method allowed us to concatenate the strings of two columns together to form a new one. Of course, you able to replace it. Just I scroll above. What we have just done is, of course, we have combined it with the author. Okay, now yeah, we are just going to use this cat to add one or more characters to the end of each line in a column. For an example, so let's add an acronym of a nation to one of the columns. So we generated. So here we have just used USA, ITA, and France of FRA. Okay, so let me just concatenate it with the separator, and I just want to include that in the ID2. So what is that ID2? Of course, here we are having A, B, E, and of course three values is there. Okay, so it going to add this of the nation of one of the column which we have already generated. So kindly just observe. I'm just going to execute it. So this is, however, suppose the insertion of a list or an external series having the same number of rows as our data frame. So if on the other hand, if we want to add the same sequence of characters for the entire column, yeah, we can create a temporary column in the data frame, all with the same values, and then it is concatenated to the desired column. That is also, it is possible. So kindly just to see how this happens is, of course, you can just make use of that USA as a separate thing in as like a temporary, and you can pass the temporary here and then making it deletion. So yeah, you just see the operation, everything or the same thing, same value. That is can also be possible. And if you just want to see the final data frame, here we go it with like this. So as you can see, these methods are malleable, and to carry out the same operation, you can find different possible solution. Okay, now let me just go with another method, dear friends, actually recognition method. And yeah, dear friends, actually there are methods of strings that allow you to know if within a string we have only alphanumeric or only numeric characters. So for an example, we previously separated the ID column into two columns, one alphanumeric and one is a numeric character. So often data frames have many rows and it is not possible to ascertain whether the previous operations was successful on all rows. So it could only be also be that one of the rows of the column contained an incorrect or non-uniform code, and that therefore the regular expression was not sufficient to completely separate the alphanumeric characters from the numeric ones. So to make sure of this, you can use the exact command isDigit. So this exact method, which traces each row of a column, make sure it contains only numerical characters or not. So isDigit, yeah, if we just pass it towards the in our data frame, kindly just observe. So here, yeah, it is there in this ID. Of course, we are having true, and it is also a true, and here also a true. So the same goes for the opposite. That is, if we want to make sure that each row of a column contains only alphanumeric. So here also, yeah, of course, we can just make it as like alphanumeric characters. You can use is alphanumeric. So of course, when we just pass it towards that, yeah, no, everything here in ID1, ID2. So see here in ID2, everything or the exact alphanumeric. So this is how, dear friends, and of course you can also have one more functionality, that is searching method. So searching method in strings, there are also many other methods for strings that are capable of performing recursive searches within a textual data. So for an example, you could check for the presence of a word within each line with the find method. Okay, so yeah, if we want to verify the presence of the word the within the title of the book in our data frame. So I just want to find the exact word, and kindly just to see here from the result, a series of numbers is obtained. So whose value corresponding to the position of the word the. So within each row of the column. So if it is present, then we just get a positive integer is obtained, and if it is not present, the value is -1 is obtained. And if on the other hand, our search is essentially focused on knowing whether the word is present or not. Yeah, within the column also we can just specify. So kindly just observe, if we want to know whether it is present or not, that is greater than -1. If it's so, and the same thing in title. So kindly just to see what we just get. Yeah. So as you can see from the preceding example, the find method returns positive value if it has found the search word, and the number will correspond to the position of the word and within the line text. And yeah, to obtain a Boolean series instead, yeah, it is sufficient to check if the returned value are greater than 0. And yeah, dear friends, I think you have become aware that data is not limited to simple numerical values, but also textual, some of which can be considered strings, and other type of data that are more complex, such as dates and times is there. And of course, you have an overview of how to manipulate these data of objects to fit and clean them for the purpose of your analysis. And yeah, I hope you found this video helpful and insightful. Yeah, I have provided the code used in this video in the description. And if you want to take your learning to the next level and join us on the exciting journey, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Stay updated with the latest upload. Thank you, dear friends. Happy learning.